Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be today's love tarot message. So let's get into this and see what the story is going to be about. This is going to be definitely surrounding the topic of love, and I wanted to go with what's the inner eye saying? What's the intuition saying in regards to love? We have the moon. The moon is what's hidden, but right now what we see is two wolves. Wolves howl when they're trying to locate each other. Wolves howl when they're hunting. They howl, for valid reasons. It's not just to make a bunch of noise. We see this transformative energy smack dab in the middle with the sacred geometry. We've got some quartz crystals coming down from the sky. What I would say is somewhere deep down, more than one person has a strong desire to heal something, to transform something. Maybe they wish that they could just heal and transform themselves, but the wolves are doing the echolocation for a reason. I feel like deep down there is a strong wish that they could. There's a waterfall between them, so I feel like they're on opposite sides of some chasm, but there's a strong wish that we could somehow get to the point where the chasm didn't matter anymore. We have the teacher, and in this card, we see Thoth here, the god of all wisdom and knowledge, the one, according to the Egyptian pantheon of gods. Thoth was the one that gave mankind writing and mathematics and all kinds of wisdom. And certainly we see all kinds of even like the astrolabe, the celestial pattern of the sky up above. We see all the written language. We see kind of the earliest form of language as well, hieroglyphs or cuneiform, excuse me, I always mispronounce that. And this is actually the Hierophant in any other deck. So Taurus energy is card 5 out of the major arcana. So we start out with two major arcana, right? A Pisces energy, a Taurus energy. So emotions and then the desire for groundedness, since we bring in the earth energy. Deep emotions continue to run, and the secret is two characters wish that they could maybe sit down and find the right vocabulary to have the right kind of conversation. That's what I see here. If only we could sit down and maybe we could talk. If only that could be the way this goes. Could that be the way this goes? Is there a way to communicate? Is there a way? I would argue, because Thoth is the god of wisdom, knowledge, and specifically the alphabet and written communication, is there a way that we could find the right words? Okay, so with this action of wands, you notice that we have the desire, anyway, to hop on that motorcycle and ride toward clarity. It's sideways. I think that two characters are feeling like, I wish you would just come toward me. The other character is like, I wish I could just go toward you. I don't know why both characters seem to wish one of them would independently choose to take the action. So to me, this already looks like we have a situation where there's a stalemate, and to go across that chasm, for it's not like each of them thinks, I wish I had the courage to move toward the other. Both characters are wishing for the same one of them to make the move, is what I see here. Why is that? I'm going to say it's a desire for the masculine to move forward. Like it does. I don't read for genders. So when I say masculine, feminine, just know I'm talking about complementary energies. I'm not talking about male, female per se, but rather the energy of the sun versus the energy of the moon. And even here we can see it, right? Moon is feminine energy. There's the sun as the masculine. So I know that gets a little confusing, but that's how I talk about it. We have the Mastery of Coins and we have the Seven of Cups, both in the reverse. Now on this card, this Mastery of Coins is the King of Pentacles, but they've put a feminine on it. So just as a side note, but it's in the reverse. We have possibly an earth energy that is absolutely saying, I cannot chase. I cannot be the person who reaches out. And they're both clear on this. This would be confusion if it were upright. In the reverse, says nobody's confused about anything. There's no question mark about how this would have to go. Now, I don't understand why it would have to be one person that takes the action of moving forward to try to bridge the gap and then finally sit down and talk. Maybe they had a lot of letters written back and forth. Maybe someone didn't respond. Maybe that's why it's like, well, I communicated everything to you, you didn't respond. And now that time has passed, it's like, especially now that time has passed, whomever didn't respond is one that would have to respond. Otherwise, it would just be like the character who sent the letter last time would be continuously like banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door, insisting, I'm going to write you more letters and more letters. I can see why somebody's like, oh, I will not try again. I will not. I can't send another letter. I sent the last one. That's it. Any movement has to be on the other person's part. Otherwise, I would just be like trying to pry, take a crowbar and pry my way into their inbox or something. I don't know if this is someone who was at one point in time really in harmony with their masculine and feminine sides of themselves, or if this was a feminine who was behaving more as a masculine, just meaning so the moon is the gravitational pull, and that's the feminine, and the sun is the, like, think of plasma, rays, coming off of the sun and radiating heat. So it's all about direction. It's all about projection outward, whereas the moon is about retraction. That's how I view it. Doesn't mean I'm right. It's just that's how I see the masculine versus feminine. I'm going to say that this character maybe was actually wanting to pull something toward them, but actually was kind of in the role of the chaser, was constantly projecting outward, trying to give, trying to give, trying to give. And he's saying, I will not lift a finger. I cannot give anymore. I'm not saying they're the ones who might have sent a letter last, but it's stacking up that way a little bit for me, especially since this is Taurus energy. And there is wisdom in here where it kind of looks like somebody says, I'm not reaching out to that person again. I reached out before. I had no response. I had no input from them. So that's where I stop, because this is full stop. And full stop, like the well is completely dry. They know it, and so does the other person. Okay, so we have the sacred masculine, which would be the Emperor in any other deck. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh my. This is complete energy of the sun now. You notice that we have a messenger that is really heavily associated with the divine masculine. It's like maybe the divine masculine is in a role where they are getting more and more uplift from the universe to say, you know what you want to do, you know what action you want to take, you know you're in a powerful position, you know that you can go ahead and if you want to create a 10 of Pentacles, you can make that happen. Or even it's within your jurisdiction that you would have to be the one to create the 10 of Pentacles, to lead the way to the 10 of Pentacles, to offer something that would create an opportunity for this. Now, remember, this could be a woman just as well as a man. We're just talking about it in the divine masculine energy, the energy of the sun. The person who is being urged to be the action taker is being reminded. Now, this is a classical male archetype, though, I will say that. So someone who wants to be that, like in the best energy, I always think an emperor would be a protector, a leader, someone who knows who they are. They are not swayed by other people's opinions, even if it's an unpopular opinion. They make their decisions based off of logic combined with facts, combined and tempered with compassion. They are someone who has foresight. They look at the big picture, not immediate gains. They're not preening and doing things that'll boost their ego. If they want to build a legacy, and they do have, of course they have pride. They have a ton of pride, but it's the right kind of pride. Not the pride that says, as long as people are clapping for me, that's all I care about. So I'll do anything to get the applause. I'll do anything to get the approval. No, that's not how an emperor behaves in the way I view it. Okay. Again, this is just coming through my vision as a storyteller. This kind of character is someone who they do have a moral code and they really do live by it. They do have a creed they have a sense of honor and duty, and they're pretty unshakable, but they also are open to connecting with, when they have a partner, they may still see themselves as an equal to their partner, yet still would want to protect the union, protect the partnership. I have your back, you have mine. And they may play a different role in a relationship than their partner does, but that's what it is. It's like equal and complementary, even if different role. And so they have a real comfort zone in themselves, and that makes them good at not questioning, like who they are and what they think and who approves of them and who doesn't. They know who they are. So if they want a 10 of Pentacles life, clearly we can see family, legacy, all of it. If they want that, they will go directly toward it. That's kind of it's as if both characters know, I won't be chasing. I know that I reached out before maybe and I didn't get a response back, and that ended it for me completely. And I think both characters know the only way forward is if it's with this much assurance and this much direction and this much intention. It has to be super clear. And both characters know the only person who can actually fix this in this story, I'm not saying it's right, the only person who can fix it is this person right here, if they were to choose to do that. And with that level of confidence, though, also. Now, we don't know what happened, why there was ever some kind of chasm that opened up between the two of them. Heck, this could be a chasm that exists between the two of them, yet they're still communicating. They just don't talk about that. Dynamics could have changed. Let's see. What's the chasm about? 5 of Wands. There was a lot of transformation that needed to happen. This is not about necessarily like, oh, they were fighting, they couldn't figure it out. This is, you notice the serpent is intimately interwoven to absolutely everything. I think meeting each other made them question everything, shed light on things that would need to be changed, be altered in order to have success. Maybe I don't know that I want to go too far down the road of what were the major things that needed to change, but let's just touch base on just like briefly. Mastery of Wands, King of Wands. Not saying that they're the ones who had to change, like, oh, somehow it's all the divine masculine that had to make all the alterations. But let's just say taking charge of heart-centered ways to like be warm toward each other, to take responsibility and take action. That could be for both of them. They perhaps each needed to take charge of relationships. And this could even represent like a past relationship with a King of Wands that needed to be healed or something. Could have stirred up old memories. These are things that needed to change. It had something to do with maybe how these two display warmth, and that could track back to connections, relationships, unfinished business with exes that displayed this energy also. Any way we look at it, I would simplify it, since we just have these two cards, and say at minimum one person, and possibly who's ever in the role of the masculine right now, needed to address or change the way they like to be consistent maybe with their heart, to be able to sit there calmly and look someone in the eyes and really reveal how they feel. It could have been a major issue. Someone didn't reveal how they really felt, how their heart really felt. A lot of unspoken words or missed opportunities to like support a partner, show them that they matter, emote, show caring energy. That could have been the thing that caused a big rift between them at minimum, even though it could have been a lot of other things also. Okay, that's as far down that road as I want to go. I just want to ask one last question here, which is why did this, the knowledge that I wish you'd come toward me, and the other person is saying, I wish I could come toward you. These hearts are howling for each other. And at the same time, they're both wishing, I wish you would just come forward and say it. And with the Hierophant, I will say, is a powerful energy coming from one's higher self as well, urging the exact same thing. So tell me, why then is that action taking in question? Why did that card end up sideways? Nurturer of Swords, because maybe there's fear that she's mad at me. She's going to be mean to me. She's going to be big mad at me. She's going to yell at me. Queen of Swords in the reverse is ferocious, fierce, angry words, angry everything. Four of Cups and the Tower. And here's like the biggest message, maybe just because it mimics the intuition here. She's the big question mark of why is somebody actually not coming forward when there's a strong desire to want to come forward, because I made her really mad. Maybe she already said a lot of angry things at them. Look, a Queen of Swords in the reverse is ferocious, very hurtful words, very, as intelligent as a Queen of Swords can be, when they take the intelligence and they go with words that are going to be, there's nothing sugar coated, nor necessarily even they're gonna say the things that may not always be true either. A reverse role can be karmic energy, so the worst of them comes out. Past hurts and stuff get heaped and directed at somebody that in an unfair way, even though there might also be truth to what they were saying, but they might decorate the truth with all kinds of other things and make it 10 times more angry or ferocious, or words can be really mean because we have a wounded, intelligent person who saw things, my boundaries were crossed, you hurt me, and now let me wind up and let you have it. I'm going to tell you everything that's ever been wrong with you, a lot of which may not actually be even true, but it doesn't matter. I'm unloading. That's okay. So that's not fun to deal with. That's not easy to hear. And even if we can say, well, we can understand why somebody would behave this way when they feel trespassed on, they feel hurt, they feel angry. Is that when we're at our best? No, definitely not. Coupled with that, this is all why they're not necessarily coming forward. It's because they have so much regret also. So much regret because things that have been wrong, I'm assuming that they think a lot of her anger is maybe justified then because they have so much regret, but they're also hiding behind the tree. And the big thing is the intuition says, this has been ruined. I know it. She knows it. This has been destroyed. But what I don't think characters realize is that the Tower is a great card. This was a mess anyway. It wasn't working. That's why it fell apart. The Tower says, of course it had to fall apart. It wasn't built on a solid foundation. This was a mess. This has to be fixed. This needed to happen. This wasn't happening before. The direct action from the Emperor to build the 10 of coins wasn't happening before. So it wasn't, this had to fall apart regardless. Maybe it fell apart in an ugly way, a hurtful way. Feelings were wounded in the process, but it had to fall apart. That's the thing. They're right. It's over. It's supposed to be over. So either it can be rebuilt again properly, or it's over and everybody walks away and their hearts continue to howl. And they could leave it like that, but Three of Wands in the reverse, Action of Cups upright, Nurturer of Coins. However, this says loudly, very loudly, that now is the time, and they both know it. Now is exactly now, not in 3 days from now, not even in 3 hours from now, but now is the time for an expression of love, the attempt at healing, the reaching out. Again, it kind of is showing us, in this case, a role reversal, because we have a Queen of Pentacles card with a King on it. It's almost like, in order, how do you fix something that has fallen apart completely? Well, if something got dismantled and all of the blocks are all over the place scattered, what do we do to rebuild? We smooth and level it, and then we start rebuilding brick by brick. So we start to do the reverse of what happened initially. It's basically like they might need to take the lead with offering something, taking the actionable step of saying, I'm offering you my heart, my love. I know it's a mess, but I'm offering you my heart to try to heal this. I don't know. It could happen. It could happen in this one. Thanks for being here, guys. I wish these characters the best.